All right. Hello, everybody.
Hey.
Welcome to Friday Night Draw, brought to you by NSC Live TV. We're back at it as usual. I'm here with Rodney. How are we doing, sir?
I'm good. How you doing, buddy?
Doing pretty good.
Good. Digging that Mothman there.
I hope so, because it's going to get sent to you to be inked.
That's cool. Can't wait to get my hands on that.
Hopefully, not too much longer, and I can get this all finished up so I can get this off to you.
Sweet. Ooh.
All right. So it's Friday night, and I guess I'll get some of the gobbledygook out of the way real quick. I'm going to be leaving right after the sketch off, but Rodney's going to be in good hands with Russell Allen's going to come in and partner up and talk Kickstarters and all that good stuff. And then because I know it'll be going well after Friday Night Draw is over tonight, come over and check me out at Baltimore Comic-Con online, where I'm going to be streaming with the Hero Initiative Drink and Draw.
There you go. Sounds like a good time.
There we go. Yeah.
Good time for a good cause.
Yes. I love supporting them, doing what I can to help out. So that's why I'll be missing part of this evening. But everybody watching will be in good hands.
There we go. I'll promise to be gentle.
Yes, and thank you, Rodney, for taking the reins and running the ship here tonight.
No problem, man. No problem. Glad to do it.
Awesome. All right, we got a couple of folks coming into the viewing here. So that we keep stuff on schedule, should I go over the drawing rules real quick?
Let's do it.
Do I even need to? I guess not. If everybody knows what we're doing, I guess we don't need to do that. All right. They're over on our Thursday Night Throwdown, Friday Night Draw group. You can go check them out. But there's a quick little dealio on the sketches. Starts out at $35. Message our respective Facebook pages, and you should be good to rock and roll if you're interested in one of our Dracula sketches this evening.
All right. Sounds good.
All right, everybody got a nice little preview of my Mothman that I'm working on for the Scarlet's Field Guide to Cryptids and Other Creatures Kickstarter there. So I'm working on that. Get the old paper ready here for the sketch off. We're drawing some Draculas this evening.
Dracula.
All right. Quick update on the Kickstarter. We are 49.18. The next stretch goal is at 5,500. And you get these cool, sweet little Bigfoot charms.
Way cool, Junior. I'm digging it.
They're all cool and in the shape of a tree.
Kind of like Bigfoot.
Yeah. All right. Count us down. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Lift off. Oh, wait. All right. Time to draw the Draculas.
Let's do it.
So what Dracula did you decide on?
I'm going with Gary Oldman. Gary Oldman Dracula with the top hat and the sunglasses.
Nice.
Probably my favorite cinematic portrayal of Dracula by far.
Oh yeah. He was awesome in that role. I mean, the guy is awesome in pretty much everything he does.
Yeah. And he's just amazing. The versatility that he possesses is just uncanny.
Oh yeah.
Because you've never seen him in True Romance, have you? Where he plays the drug dealer with the dreadlocks?
No, I have not.
Oh my God! You just watch that scene on YouTube.
Okay.
It's probably a 4-minute scene, and it is just gripping. And he is just, I mean, you believe that he's an actual drug dealer. I mean, it's just, he sells it so well.
I will definitely have to check that one out. He's one of those guys where it's like he gets so into the role, like like you said, you believe that he's a drug dealer, and like a lot of times seeing him in some of these roles, don't even realize it's him.
Yeah. Well, Fifth Element's a perfect example.
Oh yeah. Fifth Element, Commissioner Gordon in the Nolan verse.
Yeah.
Sirius Black and Harry Potter. I'm trying to think of some of the other stuff, and like he's completely unrecognizable in was it Hannibal?
Yeah. He was also in The Professional.
Professional. Oh, with
Natalie Portman and
yeah.
Yeah, he played the detective.
Okay.
Yeah, he was wicked in that. Wickedly evil. But a more subtle evil, manipulative, bad cop evil.
Yeah. Jonathan Dunn's in the house. He beat Warner and Andre into the stream tonight.
Nice. Way to go, Jonathan.
He's here just in time for us to talk school pizza.
He knows how we do. There we go. Let's see. That's not it. Okay. So, what's your day been filled with?
Let's see. I did my typical morning stream this morning.
Yep.
And then from there, worked on a Dude Bro page. Got that finished up. And then switched gears and worked on the Omega Morphosis Webtoons comic.
Okay.
And then got stuff set up for streaming tonight here and over on the Here Initiative. I had to get Zoom set up since that's going to run on Zoom tonight. And then, what else did I fit in? And I, once we got in here and kind of got things squared away, I started working some more on the Mothman piece there.
Okay.
So yeah, that's what I filled the day with. How about you?
That's good. Today was errand day.
Okay.
Well, I took my mom for her checkup, post-op checkup on her surgery. Everything looks good, so she's doing very well.
Good.
And then I delivered Roadkill Rampage packages to Amanda, which I posted pictures of that on Instagram.
I did catch that. That's cool.
And to pimp her a little bit, I got my Star Wars throwy she gave me.
Oh, nice.
Star Wars throwy. So I can throw this at the computer now instead of the remote.
That's good.
Yeah, so that was a nice surprise. But yeah, so I took a picture of her. She insisted on opening the poster in the parking lot of her apartments with the wind blowing and everything. So I couldn't stop her. But it was all good. She nothing got messed up, so she was so excited. So that was cool. And then delivered another package to another friend of ours. And they weren't home, so I got to put it on the porch.
Pretend to be a delivery man, huh?
Yeah, and we knew that was probably a possibility. They gave us a heads up on it, and so did that, and then got back to the house and just like you, get everything set up, finished the Skinwalker.
Yes.
And got that done and out of the way. So
check that off. Some previews of that one.
Oh yeah, I guess we could do that.
Let everybody see the beauty there.
get it from producer B. She's busy with something right now, so.
We'll make it happen at some point.
Yeah, the Skinwalker. Yeah, just to show it. Well, just hang on to it. We'll wait till the sketch is over, and then we'll show it. Okay, yeah, I'll sketch and she'll show. That works.
There you go. Teamwork.
There you go. There it is.
Nice. And folks, that could be yours. It's up on the Kickstarter.
Yes, it is for sale. So, or whatever wordage you use, it's available. Verbiage.
Steph said she's got to make a graphic for it, but in the package is up there, so you can, for anybody that might be wanting to go after it.
And that's going to include the original pencils and inks on Bristol board and the original colors that I printed out on watercolor paper and colored with watercolor. So you're getting 2 pieces.
Quite the steal.
Yes. Let's see. Okay. I might have to bust this out and watch this. So, Bram Stoker.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I think I saw it's on HBO maybe.
Oh yeah.
Oh, it could have been that. And now I'm kind of second guessing myself and thinking it was Mary Shelley's Frankenstein.
No. Is that the Robert De Niro one?
Yes.
I've never seen that, so that might be worth a watch.
Yeah, I would definitely give it a try.
Yeah, I know it wasn't a very big commercial success, but that doesn't thwart me. I don't really care if it's a commercial success. Blade Runner wasn't a commercial success, but it's one of my favorite movies.
So there you go. It might entertain you.
Speaking of that, speaking of Blade Runner, I was coming home from work, the driving job yesterday, and I got behind a kid, and he had a sticker that said Blade Runner something. It's like Blade Runner Forever or something to that effect, but it was a Blade Runner bumper sticker. And I'm like, that movie is almost 40 years old. And what's this kid doing with a Blade Runner bumper sticker on his car?
You got it just because it was ironic.
Well, Tina brought up a good point that my dork butt forgot. They just did a sequel to it.
Yeah. Steph said it could have been his dad's car.
Could have been.
It was his grandpa's car.
Yeah.
That was like one of the
Blade Runner.
Yeah, that was one of the most disturbing things I heard when we were doing the anime con the last couple of years. It was, anytime some kid comes up and looks at like a piece or a print or whatever, and it's like, oh, my grandpa loves this. My grandpa loves Batman.
Yes. What better way to make you feel old?
All right, Russell's in the house here.
What's up, Russell? We got some talking to do here in a little bit. All right. Now I've got that heavy metal song in my head. And it's all Andre's fault for sending me that Kenny clip.
Oh, yeah. I still got to watch that. Steph was watching it last night, busting up laughing in the background.
It's awesome.
Was it actually Sammy Hagar's heavy metal, or was it something else?
No, it's Don Felder from um, the soundtrack Heavy Metal from the movie. Was that Sammy?
Yeah, and the soundtrack is heavy metal is Sammy.
It's that Sammy? Okay.
Yeah.
What did Don Felder do?
I'd have to look that one up. I don't remember off the top of my head.
Won't you take a ride on heavy metal? It's the only way that you can travel down that road. That's Sammy Hagar? That's
No,
not
Sammy's is the other heavy metal song. That's
it's faster.
yeah,
Right.
it's basically
Tempo wise.
yeah, and it's basically him, singing heavy metal. I mean, it's just
Yeah, it's two different songs.
okay. I didn't realize there was another song on there called heavy metal.
I don't know that it's the name of the song, but Don Feltner, he was with the Eagles. Feltner,
Okay.
and he has a very distinctive playing style.
Yeah.
And so does Sammy. So and you're probably too young because he left the Eagles before they broke up. But he has a very distinctive guitar, kind of like Joe Walsh has a very distinctive sound on the guitar.
Oh yeah.
And Don's the same way. So when you hear that, it's him playing.
Yeah. Yeah. Every time I think of Joe Walsh and somebody talks about him, it's like I always think back to when he was on the Drew Carey show.
I don't know that I remember that.
Yeah. One of the seasons of Drew Carey show, like they were putting together a band. It was Drew and his neighbor buddies and whatever.
Yeah.
And so they start interviewing guitarists in the backyard. Huh. And it's like they basically did a who's who night. It was like they had Slash, they had Johnny Lang, they had all sorts of folks. And the last guy to come in is Joe Walsh. And it was like typical Joe Walsh style. He was just all aloof and just kind of like acting really slow. I mean, he was just kind of like talking slow. Everything he did was just in slow motion, basically.
Right.
So they were just all like, "You're hired." And so he was like on a good chunk of the season. He just would show up and they would have goofball conversations with him, and they would do their band thing and whatever.
Yeah, he's you wouldn't know it to look at him, but he's very politically active.
Really?
Oh yeah, he is. He's for one, he's highly intelligent.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, he is. I think he's conservative leaning. But he's very involved in politics.
I did not know that.
Very not just involved, but very knowledgeable. I guess you have to be knowledgeable to be involved. But
right.
I mean, there are people that are political. Then there are people that are really into it, and he's one of the ones that's really into it.
Huh? I had no clue.
Yeah. And I found that out through Howard Stern. He was on Howard Stern, and I was like, wow, because his daughter is actually there was a Star Search-esque type singer competition on the early 2000s. It was called the Children of Rock Stars or something like that.
Okay.
She won that competition.
No kidding.
She's beautiful young girl, and she sang like an angel. And I mean, she just belted it out. She's got a set of lungs, but I think she's now a backup singer with. She's touring with Pat Benatar.
Huh.
Yeah, but she's amazing vocalist.
Yeah, I'll have to check that one out. I had no clue.
Yeah.
Andre says, "Thanks for waiting for me, guys." She's.
Well, Andre, we tried.
I mean, Jonathan got in here right as we were doing the countdown, so he got a countdown for his entrance. He's all happy.
Right. Okay. Where? Oh, there it is.
should know better than try to do a likeness in 30 minutes, but oh well.
Yeah, I just started doing me, and it actually started working. So I was like, all right, just go with it.
All right, we got 13 minutes.
All right, we can do this.
Yeah, I'm still trying to do like me on the sketch, but it's like, it's looking more like weird young Christopher Lee than it is dude that played Dracula in Monster Squad.
I still haven't seen it, so I don't know.
You got to watch it. I looked it up for my buddy Brian yesterday. It's on like most services right now. Like you can rent it.
Yeah.
And I watched it the other day on YouTube TV just because I was too lazy to dig out the DVD. Shoot, it was on one IFC or Sundance, one of those two channels. So if you get one of those channels, they are playing it.
Yeah, we get those. I'll have to check it out. And it's a comedy, right?
Yeah, it's basically it's the Goonies, but with the Universal monsters.
Okay.
So if you like Goonies, you'll dig it.
Oh yeah, I love the Goonies.
Oh yeah, you'll love this. I mean, like it's over the top cheesy, but I mean, again, it's like the Goonies, and it's the Universal monsters, and like if you've ever seen any of the old Abbott and Costello monster movies, Abbott and Costello meet the Wolfman and Frankenstein and all that jazz. It's like it's kind of like that kind of goofball slapstick, introducing the monsters type thing.
Okay, cool.
And they it's a group of kids going to save the world from Dracula and his minions.
Yeah, I'll probably have to pop that on next week and watch it while I'm working.
I don't know. I discovered it as a kid. It was like HBO had it on like constant repeat as a kid, and like I don't know. I fell in love with it, and I think I've got a couple versions of it on DVD and stuff. And
yeah,
at the end of this month, they're doing a video on demand documentary on it. So I'm assuming it'll be on like everything, Amazon and all the other rental services.
Right.
But it's got a huge cult following. It's like it's the same kind of cult following as like Princess Bride or Goonies or any of those kind of 80s kids movies basically.
Okay. Yeah, I'll definitely watch it. That sounds like fun. I mean, it's probably something I can watch while I'm working because it's not something doesn't have like a seriously involved plot that you have to pay attention to, right?
No, as long as you know all the monster's weaknesses, and it takes you a couple minutes to figure out each kid's name, you're pretty set.
Okay, cool.
And it's kind of disturbing because the one kid, the entire movie just gets referred to as Fat Kid. The entire movie until the end.
Well, it was the 80s. There was a character in Stand By Me or Goonies called Chunk, so.
Yeah. It's Goonies meets Universal Monsters.
Right.
Chunk is a little bit more, I don't know, enduring. At least it's not hey Fat Kid.
Well, it builds character.
Yeah.
Oh, I really wish you would stand up.
9 minutes.
9 minutes. Oh. Fucking with reference. Okay. There we go.
We got one more Thursday and Friday of Halloween horror-oriented stuff, so I think we're going to have to start taking some suggestions for some superhero stuff for November, right?
Yeah, definitely. Jamie had a good suggestion last night on the Thursday Night Throwdown. He suggested The Boys.
Oh, that's right, yeah.
Characters from The Boys, and I really like that suggestion.
Oh, yeah. Jonathan wants to watch Monster Squad again. There you go.
There you go, Jonathan.
Should be on everybody's plans this weekend.
Come on over. We'll watch it together. I'll pop some popcorn. We'll have some ginger ale.
And make him some lunch, some school pizzas.
Have some school pizzas, some Lunchables if you don't like the pizzas.
And
a little fruit salad.
He's gotta bring his Godzilla costume.
That's right. And I'll make Jello with fruit in it if you don't like fruit salad.
The Jello with fruit in it.
Because it is school after all.
There you go. Producer A is saying that's frightening. Hey, if we can't scare everybody in the audience, I mean, what good are we?
We can't scare during Scaroween, the month of Scaroween, then what good are we? Am I right?
Let's see. Terry chimed in with, my cousin's wee daughter was learning words ending in at or at a few months back at school. Cat, chat, mat, hat. She says, I know this one's a bad word. I'll just say chubby.
There you go.
Let's see. I'm a breatharian. I absorb my nutrients through the air. Breatharian. No need to feed me. I don't know if I said that right. We'll go with that.
Okay. Yeah, just what do we say? Nod and smile, nod and smile.
Yeah. Smile and look pretty.
Your job is to smile and look pretty.
Not everybody can do that. I mean,
it's harder to pull off than you would think.
Yeah. We're trained professionals. Do not try this at home.
This is true. We have our own live stream, so we know. Right? Isn't that how it works?
Yeah. 5.5. It's on the internet, so it must be true.
That's right.
I'm a French model.
I'm a French fry.
French fries.
We had steak fries for dinner. Steak fries and hamburgers.
Nice. We did some I don't know, a couple weeks back went to GFS and they had these super thin steaks.
Yeah.
They looked pretty decent. Decided to get them, try them. So that's what we did for dinner tonight. They weren't too bad. They were definitely a little bit higher on the fat content because it was towards the end. It was kind of almost like cooking bacon.
Yeah. Well, like Steakums. You remember Steakums?
Oh yeah. It was like a couple notches better on the meat scale there.
It wasn't grade F meat.
Yeah, this was about a C or a B. Jonathan says he doesn't know how to pronounce it either. He converted 2 minutes ago when you mentioned cafeteria pizza and Lunchables again. We're going to convert him yet.
Embrace the school pizza.
The school pizza. The lunch lady pizza. The delicacy of the school.
The food of the gods.
Exactly.
Ma'am.
On the sketch cards from the sketch component.
Yeah.
35 cards.
Yeah. Indeed.
All right, since we talked about it, I'm going to break it out again.
Oh, yeah.
Here we go. We'll give him a nice Nice shiny spot in his hair.
Somebody's having a little too much fun tonight.
Yeah, you know.
I can't ask you. I can't tell you what producer B just asked me.
I can imagine.
She said, "Why does he have a vibrator?"
Shh.
Oh, behave. I'll go ahead and say it for you. Squirrel.
Hey, it does what you got to do, you know.
There you do. There you go. I ain't mad at you.
Ooh, man, the lightning is kicking up outside.
Uh-oh. So if you disappear,
Yeah, if we disappear, we don't have power.
we'll know the nader got you. Tornado.
And there's the thunder.
Wow.
Wow.
I hear it.
Yeah, that's crazy. That's some rumbling. So I was gonna check the radar. All right, I'm gonna call mine so that I can get ready to wrap up. For anybody that tuned in that did not hear me, I gotta bounce over to the Hero Initiative drink and draw here in a few moments.
Cool.
I got time.
Looks good.
Thank you. I'm digging Gary Oldman Dracula.
Thank you, sir. And that does look like the guy from Monster Squad.
Sure,
So
we'll go with it.
You ain't got to worry about that.
Minute and a half.
Okay. Yeah.
You might let people know.
Yeah. It's storming here too, guys. So if something happens, everybody know that it's storming here too. So Ohio is not having a good weather night. Actually, all the high school football playoff games were canceled tonight because of lightning.
Oh wow.
Yeah, they rescheduled them for tomorrow at 10.
That's crazy. Better safe than sorry, though.
Yeah, that's true.
All right, and our sketches are still available as far as I know. So Terry says both drawings are looking awesome. Great job, guys.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate it.
Thank you. Thank you.
Excuse me. Nice belch there. Snuck in.
It was all that talk of the cafeteria pizza.
Yeah, that's what it was.
Seth wants to know, is she yelling at the cat?
Yeah. The cat's giving her what for?
Oh, I hear her now. The kitties just need some attention.
That's right.
Producer C, he would know it was time, so he'll come down.
Okay.
Is that Sherman that's giving you some grief? Oh, there's the timer.
Okay.
Time is up. Pencils down.
All right. There we go.
All right, folks. They are both available. You can message our respective Facebook pages if you're interested in either one of them. And then next week, what do we have on top next week? Does anybody remember? I know Godzilla's one night.
Dracula draw off on Friday night and Elvira against Lady Death on Thursday night. And J5, I think, is coming on Friday night.
Yeah, Jay Fife is going to join us for the Godzilla draw.
Right. So Vampirella Lady Death, right?
Sure.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yes, you are correct.
Yeah.
All right. So there you go. So we got some ladies on Thursday and we got some big kaiju creatures on Friday, which we're going to put a poll up in the Facebook group for that one, aren't we?
That in a minute.
Yeah. Producer says she'll do that in a minute.
All right. So there you go, folks. Make sure you go over and join that group because we are pretty close to giving away that free art, aren't we?
Yeah, we're getting there.
Yeah, we're real close. She said we're getting there.
There we go, folks. Make sure you join that group if you haven't yet.
Excellent.
I got about 5 more minutes, so I got to make up stuff for 5 more minutes to talk about.
All right. Well, we can do that. You want to talk about the new Willow series on Disney Plus?
Ooh, yes, because I am super stoked about that one.
Yeah. Yeah, I remember you're a big Willow fan. I've never seen the movie.
Really?
No, I've never seen it. No reason. I just never got it. Well, there is a reason. When I was a kid, we didn't have cable, so I didn't get to see a lot of the movies. But yeah, I've just never gotten around to seeing it.
It's definitely worth the watch. It's nothing too crazy as far as the story goes. It's pretty straightforward, but it is.
Keep in mind that it was very early CG.
It was very early CG, but they did some really cool stuff. It was like one of the first.
Very first morphing shot ever.
Okay, it is the very first morphing shot ever. So it became a little bit more popular a few years later when Michael Jackson did it in his one video.
Okay.
But it started out, with ILM doing it over on Willow, and Terry says you got to watch Willow. Val Kilmer is fantastic in it, and he is.
Yeah, that's what I've heard. Isn't that the one where he fights the Ewoks?
Kinda.
I kid.
It's they've got like everything. It's kind of. I guess it is high fantasy. So you got your. I don't know if they refer to like Willow's people as dwarves or what they're called. I can't remember. I think they've got a specific name, but like Willow's like training to be a wizard kind of. He keeps wanting to be one, but he doesn't make the cut or whatever. And it kind of borrows the idea from Lord of the Rings and The Hobbit, where it's like, okay, we're going to go on an adventure. And
George Lucas wrote the original story.
George Lucas wrote the original story. Chris Claremont and George Lucas wrote the sequels in comics.
Really?
Yeah, Ron Howard directed it.
Spielberg was involved.
Oh, I didn't know Spielberg was involved. I forgot about that one. But I don't know. It's a bunch of fun. It's a fantasy story of. Terry just chimed in. Willow's people are Nolans.
Nolan.
Yeah, I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right, but yeah, I mean it's a lot of fun. There's magic involved, and it's like actual magic. You actually get to see stuff whipping around on screen when they're doing magic. It's not like how they did Lord of the Rings.
Okay.
But yeah, it's definitely worth a watch. I don't think it's that long of a movie, maybe an hour and a half, a little over.
Okay.
If you got
it's definitely on my to watch list.
If you got the Disney Plus, it's on there.
Oh, okay. Well, yeah, I've got that, so I can pull that up.
There you go.
And then real quick, and we'll let you out of here. Jensen Ackles is going to be playing Soldier Boy in season 3 of the Boys.
Yes, I'm excited for that one.
That's gonna be pretty crazy.
Yeah, he does some good stuff, and I'm excited to see how that character is gonna play out in the show, because right now they're saying he's supposed to be like way worse than Homelander.
Yeah, and that's that'll be fun to watch.
Oh yeah,
for sure.
Maybe the two of them like beating the crap out of each other or something.
Yeah, right.
Get us a full on soup versus soup fight.
Yeah, that'll be fun.
Oh yeah.
Do we know when season 3? Well, they're still season 2 is finished, right?
Yeah, season 2 is finished. They gave us the finale on that one. Okay. I'm assuming they're probably into production already on season 3. Since they've got him cast already. I mean, he was announced he was cast probably a month or so before season 2 aired. So, hopefully they're getting some stuff done. I know a lot of the folks are back to filming. I was listening to some stuff this morning on the news. They were interviewing Lou Diamond Phillips. Lou Diamond Phillips, believe it or not, is writing a science fiction novel.
Really?
Yeah. He described it on the show. I can't remember much of the description, but it did sound interesting. And I forget the show that he's on, but they said they're back in production. He said basically they're wearing masks until the second they call action and they start filming.
Right.
So some of that stuff's getting done. So I would assume season 3 of The Boys has got to be off and running.
That's cool. Yeah, I know The Rock has been posting a lot of behind the scenes stuff, and all the production people in the background and stuff. They've all got masks on.
Yeah, yeah. And they just I'm totally blanking. They named another cast member to Black Adam.
Oh yeah, it's the guy in in that Showtime movie. What's his name? Oh, oh no, I'm thinking of Hawkman.
Yeah. They announced a woman is playing, but I don't think they announced what character she is. They just said she's going to be part of the movie. I'm totally blanking on her name, but he put up the announcement on Instagram just a couple days ago.
Huh? I didn't see that. I'll have to go look that up.
Yeah, you got to go hit up the Rock's Instagram account. He's been posting some pretty neat stuff here and there with all the stuff on the movie, and then he's totally shilling his tequila brand.
Yeah, that's true. I forgot about his tequila brand. That's cool. The Rock tequila and Hugh Jackman coffee. You can't.
Yeah, there you go. All right. Well, I'm going to get ready to bounce out of here so I can go join the Hero Initiative. I see we got some folks backstage.
Yes, we
got.
So
I will get out of here and let you guys go, so you've got enough room to get Russell in here as well.
Okay, sounds good. We'll have a good time over at Hero Initiative and Baltimore Comic Con.
Thank you. You guys have fun. Hold the fort down.
We will do that. We'll make you proud.
Cool. All right, we'll catch up sometime over the weekend, I'm sure.
All right, brother. Sounds good. Take it easy.
You too.
Bye.
See you guys.
Okay, so there is Scott, and there is Brent. Hey guys,
Hey.
how we doing tonight?
Good. How you doing?
Doing well.
Doing pretty good. What is going on in the world of Scott and Brent? I wonder what the topic of conversation is going to be.
It's the never-ending Kickstarter.
There you go.
We should sing that. Got to do our best Dustin impression. Never ending Kickstarter.
There you
go.
So you guys are just about done. You got 4 days left,
and it's funded.
Excellent.
It is funded, so it's happening. And Scott just posted a brand new finished cover.
Very nice.
That's right. Let's see here. I'm going to post our link into your comments there so people can find us online.
Good deal.
Assuming I'm posting into the right one. Maybe not. I don't know. Or I posted into someone else's live stream. Who knows?
Uh-oh. Tina said she's going to post it for you.
Okay,
All
perfect.
Right, cool, thanks.
No worries.
See, that's why you have a producer.
That's right. Producers,
they do it right.
Save our butts every time.
Yeah, we produce ourselves. That's why, the show that it is.
There you go.
Hilarity and hijinks ensues.
Yeah.
So this is Wretched Realms. This is our Kickstarter. We really appreciate you guys having us on. I did want to give a quick shout out to you, Rodney, because I received this wonderful Kickstarter package in the mail.
Very nice. Very nice.
His. So for Roadkill Rampage, which you did.
Awesome.
So as expected, it came in quality packaging, and everything came in perfect condition.
Mm-hmm. Good. Glad to hear it.
I will say I use much more tape than you do.
Well,
I use like a half roll of tape for every package. No, but everything came great. So thank you so much, and it was a pleasure supporting your Kickstarter.
Thank you.
We appreciate you allowing us to talk a little bit about Wretched Realms. So
right on.
Yeah, you want to talk anything, Brett, or you want me to do the talking?
Just go ahead, man.
Go for it. All right.
I gotta tell you, you gotta show off that cover though. That is just super cool.
So, Wretched Realms is an anthology series that I came up with. Each individual issue will have its own standalone stories. This particular issue happens to be a Wild West story called The Wanted Man. It's based upon the song Renegade by Styx. It was inspired by that song.
Yeah, I really like that idea.
Yeah, so many songs put imagery in your head, and when I'm listening to music, a lot of times I'll kind of put a storyline to it, and I decided, you know what? I need an outlet for this, and Wretched Realms is my outlet. But it's also an outlet for other creatives who also may have their own stories to share. So we're opening it up to all kinds of illustrators and writers. So our funding goal was $2,000. We met that. We have 4 days left. Our next stretch goal is $2,500, where the unlimited edition cover will be done as a 4x6 mini poster.
Excellent.
If we get to the stretch roll after that, it'll be upgraded to a metal print. We have limited editions. We have variant covers. Everyone needs variant covers when you're in the world of Kickstarter. So we brought on board Sergio Cariello to handle our main cover along with some of the limited covers. He did these beautiful inks here. If you don't know who Sergio is, you may know his work. He's been around for a while. He's worked on DC and Marvel. He's creator and illustrator of the Action Bible, which is the world's largest, most published comic book version of the Bible in the world. It's published in like 60 different languages. It's been like #1 for 10 years or something like that. It's crazy. It's beautiful work. But he's also was the part of the Lone Ranger for a long time, which is why we wanted to bring him onto this issue, because his Wild West feel is awesome. So these are the beautiful inks he did. We are publishing his inks only as a limited edition cover, limited to 100 copies. Then we're putting that on a metal aluminum brush cover also. So it'll be a metal cover for the issue. That's an ultra limited edition. Only 30 of those are being printed. So those will be very rare.
Okay.
And then the last part, there's my limited edition cover, 100 copies of that one.
Very cool. Very cool.
And then here it is here. These are Sergio's inks combined with Kevin E. Meinert's colors for our unlimited edition cover. So this one will be the main cover, so to speak, there. So love how the colors came out. They really pop. Kevin did a great job on that.
Very beautiful.
Yeah. And then last but not least, we have another cover, which you see here. This is Kevin E. Meinert's limited edition cover featuring his artwork for the cover. He did the pencils, inks, and colors on there. So we got 5 different variant covers. Then the 6th is a sketch cover that you can hire us to draw on.
Absolutely. Everybody's got to have a sketch cover, man. Those are awesome.
They're great, and they're awesome at shows. You know, we all love using them. Actually, Rodney, one of the ways I first knew you is you did so many sketch cover pieces.
Yes.
That you did, and I always enjoyed seeing your sketch cover art.
Yeah, that's it was it's funny because for the longest time it was sketch cards.
Right.
You know, we've all done sketch cards, and then all of a sudden these things started popping up, and actually I jumped onto the craze because of Sean. Because I observed Sean doing the same thing you observed me doing. Mm-hmm. And I was like, well, I got to get in on this. Let's go have a conversation with John. Mm-hmm. And then, I mean, that's just...
and now sketch cards are pretty much dead. I think. I don't know. For me, they are. I used to get tons of sketch card work. Then this became the rage. Now this has settled down too. I think for me, at least, I don't get as many sketch cover requests as I used to. But they're still very popular, and especially as a comic book cover. So. We've been doing really well with those.
Yeah, it I don't know. I guess I do both. But sketch covers have been fewer and far between here recently.
Yeah.
Like at the beginning of the pandemic, I was doing a lot of sketch covers, and right now I'm doing a lot of sketch cards. So
okay, interesting.
I don't really know what determines that. You know, who knows? But
the memo went out.
Yeah, exactly.
Everyone said, "Oh, we're doing cards again."
Yeah, and now we switch back to cards. Go.
Yep. But me personally, I absolutely love the size of sketch covers. They're like a nice in between size. As you know, sketch cards are so small. Yeah. And when I'm in the flow of doing sketch cards, they're fine. But when I don't do them for a while and then go back, it's like, oh, this is so tiny.
You've got to reacclimate your muscle memory to that small of a size.
And as I get older, though, I think it's getting harder to see.
As you get older, you just take those bifocal glasses off and lean closer in. So,
right.
Tilt the desk higher up so you don't have to lean so far forward. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. So we're getting ready to cross the finish line here. 4 days left. All pledges of $40 or more, and that can be your reward tier. That could be rewards plus add-ons. Any combination of $40 or more, you qualify for a free 4x6 inch sketch that I throw in there for free to all rewards above that amount.
Yeah, that's nice. That's a nice. That's a nice get.
Yeah, and then we also have the these are some samples of the interiors. I'm working on the final inks and colors now, but this gives you an example of my pencils and some of my initial inks. I'm working on the finals now, so unfortunately I don't have that done yet, but that's the only outstanding part. I should be done in about 2 weeks with all of it.
Okay, cool.
These are add-ons. We've got the PDF copies of our past Kickstarters and issues. We've got unlimited copies available of our past ones. So all of these are available. Our limited editions, our T-shirts, so sketches, our whole Crimson Shadows pack. That was our last Jack the Ripper / Dracula series that we came out with, issue 1. Issue 2 is in progress, and we're working on that feverishly now because late winter, early spring, we're going to be releasing issue 2 of that. So you can get in on the ground floor. Excellent. If you'd like me to do any sketch covers, these are samples of my $50 sketch covers for the for this Kickstarter, just grayscale, black and white inks and markers.
Very nice. Beautiful.
There's some samples there. And then our stretch goals. Like I said, 2,500, 46, 4x6 mini posters will be created of the covers. We'll upgrade that to a metal print if we hit 3,000. If someone goes crazy and gets us to 4,000 in the next 4 days, I'm going to add a 6-page short story to the back of the book. So some bonus materials.
That's a hell of a bonus.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, that's nice.
Yep, I'm going crazy.
Hey, yeah,
I want that 4,000 goal though. So
I know the feeling, brother. Hey, you know what? We you got 4 days, man. We can do this.
We can do it. And I'll tell you what, I'll throw that out there now. If somebody wants to put a large donation down, contact me privately for that short story. I can put your likeness in the main story there.
There you go.
6-page short story. So there you have it. I'll throw that on there. Just tell me Rodney Fike sent you, and
absolutely, yeah.
I'll put your mug in there.
Yeah, we did that for issue 2 of Roadkill Rampage, and it. Yeah, we got a couple people jump on for that. That's a good incentive. People love to see themselves in the printed page.
That's right. So those are some of the fun things we're doing with Wretched Realms. And then just a quick little shout out about who we are, Bardstone. We're a young, up and coming company here. This is our 3rd Kickstarter just in the last couple months. We did Poe Macabre Master issue 1 a couple of months ago. Crimson Shadows issue 1 just came out and was successfully filled. Wretched Realms is right now. And then for 2021, counting this Wretched Realms one, we have 10 Kickstarters we're lining up over the next year here. So
holy cow, you guys are gluttons for punishment.
Yes, we are. So we're hoping you guys are willing to talk to us a lot so everyone knows who we are. So yeah, that's what we're doing. We're trying to build something real here. We're putting quality in our work, just like with Rodney and Sean, their Kickstarters, they always put a quality product out. We believe in quality as well. So that's the pitch.
That's good, man. That's great. You guys do awesome work. And for those listening, these are good guys. We've known them for 10 years. Good, solid dudes. Both very talented. Kevin Miner, just as talented. So they do quality work, and it's a product that you guys won't be sorry that you backed. And yeah, I mean, if you're a fan of Westerns, if you're a fan of the spooky and macabre, these guys are right down your alley. So go check out their Kickstarter. The link's there in the comment section. And let's get that 4x6 mini print.
Yeah, we're only like, what is that, 376 away. So we can hit that.
Yeah, that's very achievable. So let's get on there. If you guys haven't checked it out, go check it out. And just give them your love and support. That's all we can ask for.
Mm-hmm. That's right.
Okay, yeah.
Next guest is running a few minutes.
Go ahead and wax a little bit about Odd Musings. We're waiting for our next guest.
Okay. I'll talk a little about this one.
Yeah, go for that.
Well, Odd Musings is our podcast we do every Wednesday at 10 a.m. Eastern time. We're God, how long have we been doing this now? 3.5 years?
Well, we just
We're
did
at 100
episode 176.
6, yep. And I checked tonight. I text Scott. Don't know if he saw the text, but we are also, besides on YouTube, SoundCloud, iTunes, we are now on Amazon Music.
Ooh.
So you can go to Amazon Music and check out
That means
all
we
our
have to
podcasts.
sing every week.
Yes. Well, there's been times when we didn't have our theme song ready, so we sang it, you know.
Yep. We do have probably the most catchy song out there.
But yeah, we do it as the audio is available through Amazon Music as well as iTunes and all that, and then we do the video side of it through Facebook, YouTube. We stream it through the Odd Musings page, so you can find Odd Musings on Facebook, and there's a link there from the bottom there, and so definitely go there and like that. There we also talk about to people like Rodney or Sean when they have Kickstarters going on. I got to talk to Scott. We had someone hit us up that was chiming in the other night, and he's got a. Okay, so we're gonna probably try to have him on not next Wednesday, but the Wednesday after, and we'll get him on there. And his name is Sean too. I don't really know if I know him or not, but we'll figure it out. He's got a new Kickstarter, and we like to promote, the stuff that we're doing. We like to promote stuff our pals are doing, and we do advertising. So if you're looking to actually be promoted on a continuous weekly basis, hit us up. We have advertising rates that are very competitive.
Yep. And then we also love to talk just about geek culture, pop culture, our Comic-Con adventures, when those exist.
Yeah.
And it's been a little tough this year because we love talking movies. Well, movies are gone. We love talking Comic-Cons. Those are gone. It's like,
well, we've talked
about for Kickstarters.
We've got a series, fortunately, like The Boys. We talked about that. But starting next week is Mandalorian. So we're going to have some Mandalorian talk for most of the weeks while that's going on. And
I've been getting my geek on at home with the Mandalorian on StarWars.com. They've posted some behind the scenes stuff, like with how they made the Razor Crest and some other things like to help, get everyone excited. So I've been watching a lot of StarWars.com videos lately just to get excited for the Mandalorian. So
very cool. Yeah, I'm gonna have to start doing that because I got to get jacked up for that.
Oh, I'm already ready for that. I can't wait. I keep wandering on. Starting on Monday, StarWars.com is going to have links to all the Mandalorian Monday.
You might be able to see Baby Yoda back there on my table.
Oh, yeah, there he is. He's on that team now.
Yeah, and then I got my heavy weapons Mandalorian here.
Very cool. Very cool.
Yeah, it's going to be an awesome season. As much as they put into that first season and find out that they pretty much had the second season done. They were almost finished filming it when they started showing the first season. It's like, okay, they knew what they had. So I'm really excited about that. And it gives us something to look forward to. And we try to talk about the different entertainment stuff we're really interested in. And like I said, we like promoting the different Kickstarters that we run across. I just got, besides Rodney's, I also got today Jacob Bear, who's a good friend of ours from over in the Arizona area. Met him through Ready Comics, who does a lot of our printing and stuff like that we use, and shipped the same way. Great packaging, gotta love that stuff. And thanks to Sean. I mean, we're all using that because of Sean, and I know he got that through somebody else, but it's just it's the best way to get the product out there to be in as perfect condition as you can get it. And cause someday we're hoping that these Bardstone comics are worth tens of dollars.
Yes.
So.
I got
many tens.
Speaking of the gym mailers, funny story real quick.
Mm-hmm.
You guys saw the pictures that we posted of our packing party last weekend at the Forney's. Yes. So I had never messed with a Gemini before, so we
kind of fold it.
They had a box, a huge box. There's probably 200 of them in there. And Sean showed me how to fold them, and he's used to doing it. So he's like, okay, you do this. I'll go back right here, blah, 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 and the table right here. I'm like, okay, you're going to have to show that to me again.
It's like trying to do something in origami. It's like, wait a minute.
Why did Rodney's like,
it was like, okay, one more time.
It's a unicorn.
Took about 4 times. Like, all right, I got it. And then
it takes a little. After you get in the flow, though, it does go easy. But those first couple, you're like, wait, what?
Yeah. Yeah, and then it just became an assembly line of fold. I'll fold, you tape, and and then they packed and got them back to us, and we taped them back up. It was
if you guys need help taping, let me know.
It was funny because Sean had they've got this industrial tape spool tape dispenser with suction cups on the bottom of it, so that sucker wasn't going anywhere.
Well, they turned the basement into their production for Kickstarters.
It is totally a production. And Scott, you were even mentioned during the taping sessions. All right, don't Scott it. We don't want to run out of tape.
Well, at least Scott's using clear tape and not the Gorilla tape, you know.
Oh yeah.
Ooh, good idea, Brad.
I got the Kickstarter. I can't read it. I can't open it.
So secure, no one can open it.
I don't have a diamond cutter.
No one will know whatever is in the box.
Hey, so let me ask you a question about. We were talking about Star Wars, and Brent, you said that they knew what they had.
Yes.
So a Star Wars related question I have for you guys, because you guys are delved more into the making of and all that than I do. What do you? Are they replacing Kathleen Kennedy? What have you heard? What do you know? What do you think?
She's supposed to retire next year.
Okay.
Yeah. Now, but is that still in the rumor phase, or has that been confirmed?
I could have sworn been confirmed, but I think with everything going on right now, they're holding. I don't know. They're not saying too much, but Scott and I have been speculating irresponsibly for quite a while. It looks like Favreau kind of helping right now. I think it's going to be Filoni taking over in the long run.
Okay.
Overseeing stuff because he knows Star Wars. He was handpicked by George, for everything he's worked on when he got started. To the point of when he got the call from George, it was like he was building a Jedi outfit. So, but you learn that when you watch the behind the scenes. What was it? It was the Disney Plus show. They did. Basically, it was an 8-episode thing on behind the scenes of The Mandalorian. After you watch The Mandalorian, you got to watch that show because it gives true insight into how they made the show, but it gives even better insight into all the people that really worked with all the directors, Filoni especially. And then you see everybody that was involved director wise. It's, Bryce Dallas Howard, she did an episode and she's like key function right in there. But of course she's tied heavily because of her dad into Lucasfilm.
Right.
Now, another key component of The Mandalorian coming out when it is Disney is about to hit their 1-year mark for Disney Plus.
Yeah.
The original launch date was November 12th, according to the interwebs. So a lot of people's 1-year memberships are about to expire. So having The Mandalorian come out when it is, there'll be like around episode 3 when people's 1-year subscriptions start running out. So a lot of people are going to go tune in for episode 4 and be like, wait, why can't I see it? Well, you better renew.
Time to re-up.
And I keep telling people, if you got Verizon phones, they got a new plan that you can get the Disney Plus Hulu for free. So check it out.
Very cool. Very cool.
And looks like you got your other guy on here. So
all right.
Russell's in the house.
All right, Russell.
So got Russell Allen. This is Scott Zambelli and Brent Penson. These are good friends of ours.
Hello, guys. Nice to meet you.
Hey.
This is the
I see Russell online.
He is the madman. He pimps everybody's projects, everybody's wares.
The mad sharer.
He is the mad sharer.
So I'm guessing you are not wearing pants right now, or else you'll have a $500 fine there.
That's right. See, there's a workaround. You got to wear shorts. It all started out as a big joke. So we were on a live show, and I'm always, just razzing people. It's my thing that I do. I just go into shows and I razz people. So I get in a show with Phil Locklear, and we're just chatting around. He's like, "Oh yeah, my girlfriend just made pizza." And I was like, "Hey man, I'm hanging outside your window. Throw me a bone," And he's like, "Dude, what if I don't have any pants on?" And I'm like, "That's okay. It's pantsless pizza." So thus pantsless pizza was born, and eventually it may turn into a thing. So that's hence the pantsless sign.
There you go.
You can definitely promote that at colleges, I think.
Yeah.
Well, and it is, with the Rona and all that stuff going on and all the cons being canceled, everybody's doing these live chats, and it's like you always see the top half of the body, but you never see the lower half. So it's it's Pantsless Con 2020. You don't know if people are wearing pants or not, and hopefully they're not. Just free balling.
You could start it where the podcast is at crotch level and everyone has to guess who is who.
Or we could do the flip of it. We could do a contest. And people could guess who is wearing what. And then
there you go.
Point, once we get to let's say we get to 100 viewers or whatever it is, and then everybody has to stand up and show who's right, and then based on that, people win prizes or something. That'd be kind of fun.
Well, and see, you guys missed out on last Sunday show. Last Sunday show was off the chain. We ended up shirtless towards the end of the show. Everybody. So they were asking for skin, for doing the Kickstarter. So, the two guests took their shirts off, and the audience is like, well, that's not fair. You need to take yours off, too. I'm like, okay, whatever.
See, for me, that's actually how I raise mine. I take the shirt off, and I don't put it back on unless people start giving me money.
Well, I was kind of expecting the guests to drop off, but then everybody was in shock because I'm all tatted up, and it was like a huge surprise to them because I guess – from watching me, they don't expect me to be the kind of person that has tattoos, and it's like, surprise. And so everybody's like, all right, we need the stories behind all of these. I'm like, we're not going there.
I think people would have to readjust their monitors if I took my shirt off because it would just be like snow blind.
Yeah, usually, living in the Midwest, it's wintertime. We all become like this translucent white. But now, because of COVID, we're all been inside all year. It's like I don't even know what's going to happen after winter this year.
Yeah, it's like that. Look, that's the guy that spends all his time in the basement studio. Yeah. Look, the sun strained his eyes.
Our skin will be like the scene in Pulp Fiction when they open the box. It'll be like this blinding light.
We'll look like the creatures from Omega Man. Looking for Charlton Heston.
There you go.
Oh, very good. Thank you, guys, for letting us on and invade your show here to talk a little bit about Wretched Realms. We really appreciate it.
Absolutely. So give a closing pitch again, Scott, and then we'll talk you guys out.
All right. Check us out online at Kickstarter. Wretched Realms is the name of the comic book series. It's an anthology series. We're striving to hit our stretch goal, just about $350 away or so. So help us cross that line. We got 4 days left. All pledges $40 or more, you get a free sketch included.
Excellent.
There you go.
Yeah, and tune in 10 a.m. for Odd Musings.
Odd Musings, 10 a.m. Wednesdays.
And you guys send me a friend request, and I'll help share your project out since you only got 4 days left. We'll blast it. So
awesome.
Send me a friend request.
Cool.
We'll definitely do that.
All right, guys. Thanks for popping in, and we'll be pushing you and praying for you. So let's do it.
All right, sounds good.
Thanks, Rodney. Appreciate you.
No problem, guys. Take it easy. Bye. How you doing, buddy?
Doing good. How are you doing, Rodney?
I'm doing well. Have you received your package yet?
I have not.
Okay.
You know what? Honestly, I haven't even checked the tracking on it.
Okay. So, Tina's, we package your stuff at home instead of up at the Forney's. Okay, yeah, she sent you.
I didn't put his gift in there, so I had to ship it separate, so it's coming later.
Okay, yeah, okay, okay, so all right, cool, we're good. All right, then she informed you what's going on. Okay, cool. So what's new in the world of Russell Allen, my friend? How are you?
I'm hanging in there, man. It's been a heck of a year.
Yeah.
I'm hanging out, waiting until November. This whole medical thing with COVID, they're shorthanded and stuff. So I'm still having problems with my right arm. But other than that, I'm doing better since, seeing pain management and all that stuff. But,
yeah,
just trying to get stuff lined out for the Kickstarter next month. It's getting kind of nerve wracking.
Oh, yeah. I can relate, brother. It's drives you nuts. I was never so glad when the Roadkill Rampage was over with. And the cool thing is now people are starting to get their packages. I'm getting a lot of PMs from people telling me very, very, very nice reviews of the book that really make me feel good as a writer and as a creator because everybody really loves it.
Yeah, and that's got to be great. You know, here you are, you spent all this time, all year, working on a project, and you finally get it up there on Kickstarter, and it's like, okay, you know, waiting for it to fund, and it funds, and then it's over, and you get to go through the craziness of getting everything printed and made up and shipped out, and it's like, it's finally nice to see all that hard work pay off when you see smiling faces holding their packages, or even better, when you get people that do live unboxings. You know, that's always fun. But
yeah, that's really cool. Adam Fields did that yesterday. He laid everything out, and he kind of went over everything that he got in his package, which is really, really nice of him, because it shows. We tell people all the time that, look, you know, when you get this book, you're not just getting a book, you're getting all these goodies. You're getting a bag of goodies along with the book. And to say that is one thing, but to see it, and Adam showed it, and that was awesome. So we can't thank him enough for doing that. Yeah, and it's just, people are like, okay, wow, you know, and then it sinks in. You know, when you buy from an independent publisher, and you back at Kickstarter, you're not just getting the book, you're getting a pile of fun stuff to go with it. And you don't get that at a comic book shop.
all right, give me a second here. I'm going to get my stuff arranged here.
He's busting out the pad.
That's right. I'm busting out the sketch pad. Danny
Wow.
D, I hope he's in here. He requested that I draw a stuff pool. So, you know, we're going to get a stuff pool drawn.
Excellent.
As long as I can figure out which way the camera goes. Everything's backwards. Which way do I go, George?
Yeah, which way do I go?
There we go. That looks halfway decent.
There you go. Make it happen.
So is Danny D in here? I can't see the chat. I'm on my phone.
You know what? I don't think he is. I don't remember seeing him tonight.
Yeah, I haven't seen Danny come in.
No, he hasn't been in all night.
I don't know who's in here.
Yeah, we got a couple people in.
That's slacker.
Nah, there'll be some people joining here in a little bit.
So let's see. Anybody in the comments, throw up a character you want to see with Steph Pool.
There you go. Come on, folks.
That's my thing. My weekly comic is Stuff Pool.
Nice.
I did one yesterday already. Turned out pretty fun.
Yeah, I saw that. That was awesome.
Well, it started out as a big joke. So Steph Wilson, he does this You Can Draw segment, and he's been going live for quite a while. I want to say at least a year now.
Yeah.
And I guess 5 months ago he started, maybe it was less than that, maybe it was 4 months ago, he started doing the You Can Draw segment. And at later on in the show, the kids get on and, you know, they draw along with them, and he shows how to draw like cartoon characters. One day we did Marvin the Martian and stuff like that. One of the first ones he did was Deadpool, on how to draw Deadpool. So I just turned it into a joke thing, you know, and put stuff on it and added my own twist to it, my narrative, and it just grew into something. And so now each week when he draws a set of characters or a specific character, I decide to add Stuff Pool into it and make fun of the situation.
I think that's great. I think it's it's kind of like I don't want to say finding your niche, but I don't want to say gimmick either, because that kind of sounds
bad.
But it's shtick, whatever you want to call it. It just becomes what you do, and I think that's always a good thing. If people can identify you with something like that, it's like, oh, okay, then you know what I mean. It's instantly recognizable. It's like,
well, and I look forward to it too. You know, I haven't done it for probably I want to say probably a good month now with everything that's been going on. I just haven't felt up to doing it. So I just started again yesterday doing it.
Right. Did you see Andre's comment? He says, Invisible Man, we covered this yesterday.
Oh, come on, Andre. That's right. We did cover that yesterday, though. Dang it.
That's really hard to draw.
Well, that's good. Then all I got to do is draw a stuff pool, and then after that it's done. He's just gonna be talking to blank over here.
Well, just give it a few minutes and see if we get something else, or just
I did some shares out.
there we go.
We're up to 5.
Tina just shared it out to some people, so we're up to 5 now.
Oh, that's all good.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm getting pretty excited. You know, I've been working on Xenonanite Titan for about 10 years now. I started writing it back in 2010. It was kind of my... So when I was younger, I always wanted to get into writing, and everybody's always like, "Oh, you know, that's not something you can do. It's not a job that can sustain you. You know, yeah, you can be creative to a point, but you know, this is not ever a job that you're going to be able to be successful at and you know, make a living off of." So it was, you know, my dream was kind of shuttered, and you know, throughout the years, I still wrote stuff here and there. But back in 2010, my wife asked me what I wanted for my birthday, and I was working at an over-the-road job to where once a week I went over the road Thursday, spent the night up in Springfield, Illinois, somewhere in that area, and then I would drive back the next day and finish up my route. And
Right.
so I was like, you know, I'd really like a Chromebook that'll give me something to do in the hotel room, and I can write. So I wrote my first book back in 2010. It was Taking Steps in the Walk of Life. It was a book about, you know, around then, you know, there was a lot of the Afghan, Iran, you know, the war and stuff going on over there. And we had a lot of soldiers that were coming home and, you know, their houses were foreclosed on, their cars were repossessed. You know, just all this
Right.
bad stuff would happen.
Right.
And, you know, it wasn't right. So I wrote this story. It was about a soldier that went overseas and, you know, his wife ends up dying. And, you know, he's MIA. He gets captured by the enemy and tortured. And all this stuff happens. The rest of his, you know, squad gets killed while they're in captivity. He ends up getting rescued. He loses the use of his legs. And it was pretty much, it's a story about him coming home and, you know, his house is gone. His wife passed away. The kid went to the state, and the state kind of was juggling the kid around from home to home to home. And, you know, it was his battle to try to get his life back, you know,
Right.
what these
Yeah.
soldiers lose when they go overseas. Because, I mean, it was honestly something that was going on. I mean, you've seen it all over the news, you know, soldiers were coming home here in St. Louis and, you know, they would be on the local news, and it's like, hey, you know, I come back and my house is foreclosed on. You know, I was sending payments. Why did this happen? And somebody else is living there, you know, and so it's not like they can fight the bank. So that was kind of like my jump into writing. I wrote that book, but I was like, you know, I really don't want this to be my very first book. I always had the idea for Xenonanite Titan, and it was something that grew over time. And I started writing it, and things just happened. You know, we got married back in 2012, and you know, I got in an accident the week after we got married. I was on my way to work, and I hit a deer on the highway at 70 mile an hour. So,
oh Jesus,
yeah, you know, you gotta love where we live. We live out in the suburbs, so you know we have lots of deer and stuff like that out here. You'll be just driving down the road in the morning, and they're just hanging out on the side of the road, like, "Hey, what's up?" And you know that after that, things just kind of spiraled out of control. Our son was born in 15. I was almost finished with the book because, you know, writing is not my full-time job. You could say it's a hobby. I don't want it to be a hobby. I want it to be something that, you know, I can be successful at. But writing after work and stuff, I almost had it wrapped up. And whenever my son was born, he had to have open heart surgery. So that really put a damper in things and me being able to finish the book, because I was like, oh, I'm gonna work on the book while I'm in the hospital. It'll give me something to take my mind off of things. And it sounds good in the moment, but in reality, it just doesn't work out because the stress and everything going on, it's not really something that you can concentrate on.
Right.
So
Yeah.
after he had his open heart surgery at a week old, we got home, and then he went back in the hospital a month later and had a pyloromyotomy. And then we ended up going back in. He had a cardiac cath, and it was just like one thing after another after another. And I hate to say it, but I gave up on my dream. You know, I was
Right.
like, you know, this is never going to work out. We've got kids now. And, you know, I just don't have the time for this. And, you know, whenever my son was born, we had the thing of he was always going to the cardiologist. He was always going to appointments. And so my wife couldn't hold a job, and I couldn't hold a job, taking off, you know, every 2 or 3 weeks to go in and take him to the hospital. So I just told her, I said, you know, let's just do it where you stay home and I'll work and, you know, try to make ends meet. So, you know, it worked, and it's worked for the last 5 years. And, you know, I just, with me working 60 hours a week and, you know, trying to spend time with the family, I just was like, and then the surgeries, I just was like, I'm just not going to be able to finish this.
Right.
And then in January, I found out that I could possibly have cancer. So that was kind of like a huge blow. So, you know, I spent January, February in the hospital, most part. I went back to work in March, and then somebody ran a light and hit me on my way home. So I ended up back in the hospital for a little bit. And so, you know, I was like, what do I regret the most out of all of that? And I'm like, I really regret not writing my book. I really regret not taking the time to finish it and put it out there and have people say, you know, I really enjoy this. You know, I would like another book in the series. And
Right.
so I told my wife, I said, you know, if I do have cancer, my job's over, because I drive for a living with DOT. If you do have cancer, they will pull your medical card.
Right.
And so I was like, you know, what am I going to do? Then, you know, Corona happened. So all the places around here were shutting down. And I'm like, I don't know what we're going to be able to do for money. If I end up not being able to work, you're not going to be able to find a job because they're letting people go. They're laying people off. Places are closing. And so, you know, between me regretting not doing it and it's kind of, I may have to do this from now on, it kicked me in the ass and said, hey, let's do this. So I started writing my book back in February. I started Russxploe Studios, and I bought a website. I put it out there, and now there's no going back because everybody knows about it.
Right.
And that was kind of a good thing because it was a drive, you know, to
Yeah.
sit there and say I want to do a project and do it, and then get to kind of discouraged, or to say, hey, I'm doing a project and have a bunch of people going, I'm excited for this.
Hey,
It
real
really
quick,
helps push you.
Jamie's in the house. Hey, Jamie, how you doing, buddy? Thanks for joining us. We got Russell Allen on the show tonight. So just want to say hey to Jamie. Jamie's a longtime supporter of us.
Hey,
okay.
Jamie.
Continue, Russ. Continue. Sorry about that.
No, you're fine. No problem at all. I that's the problem with me being on live shows. I'm long-winded, so you know that's why I'm good at doing interviews. So, you know, and it was just, it's like, okay, I got to do this. And so I started rewriting book one. I made a lot of changes to it. I made it more relevant to the current situation. I changed the timeline a little bit, and I included my kids in a lot of the interaction between the main character, Raziel Stevens, and his kids in the book.
Okay.
And so, you know, book one got a major overhaul, which overhauled the rest of the series. But, you know, this whole book is laid out in my head. I've got it from start to finish for the trilogy, for the origin story. I was originally going to write a single book, but it was going to be like 900 pages. And it's not a money grab. It's not why I broke it up in a trilogy. I broke it up in a trilogy because to print a 900-page book is going to be pretty expensive, and it's going to be hard to sell it to people.
Right.
They need a taste of it before they're going to be invested in it.
Exactly.
So I set up areas in the storyline that would be a good pull. This is where I'm going to start book one and stop book one, start book two, stop it, and then start book three. And that's what I rolled with. So book one will be kickstarting November 17th. I'm going to do a launch party type thing. It's not going to be like a, hey, buy this. It's just going to be me going online and sending my baby off into the world. I mean, it's going to be an emotional moment because, 10 years of work and it's go time. I'm finally going to put it out there, and I couldn't be more excited. I got a great group of artists behind me. Wendy Steen Shaner, Ed Williams, David Fought, David Harrigan, Armando Ramirez. We've got David Fought. I think I already said that, but whatever. I will roll with it. Fenny the Great and Evanette Rivas Fournier.
Very nice. Yeah, and just an observation. A little bit ago, you said that you had to shelf your dream and give up on your dream, and you sounded really despondent when you said that. And my commentary to that is, sometimes in life, your dreams are just kind of it's not a bad thing to put something on the back burner for a while. It's not giving up. It's just hitting the pause button. And the other thing that you said, which tells me that that's true in this case, is that you went back and you reworked a lot of the stuff. So it gave you time to marinate on what you had created already. And I've done that myself. I did a book back in the 90s that, those characters are pretty much my babies. But that was 20 years ago, 25 years ago. And, the thought is, at some point, oh, let's relaunch. But the thing is that I've grown so much that that would be like going backwards. So you become cognizant of what life has taught you and what life has brought you, and you weave that into new creations. And that sounds like that happened a lot with you. You had a little time and little life experiences added, to your pantheon of knowledge, and you worked a lot of that into it the second time around, and that's just life, life working the way it works. Things happen for reasons that are beyond our understanding, and it's just the universe's way of allowing things to marinate for a little bit. So
Yeah, and a lot of it is.
My point is, don't be so hard on yourself for having to, get quote unquote give up on your dream, because you didn't give up on it. You just you did what you had to do to get through life. Life, I've said it 1,000 times. Life just gets in the way sometimes, man, and there's no way around it. I mean, I was out of the game for 10 years, and I got back in it because I blew my back out. And I went through a really long, deep depression where I worked in a machine shop and I worked 10-hour days, and I would just come home from work, peel off my clothes, and just collapse into the bed, no shower, no nothing. And I would sleep until it was time to get up and go to work. I did that for months. And I was just despondent. But life has a funny way of working things out.
Well, and you got to look at it like this. God gives you things to motivate you.
Absolutely.
To further on with the story, so I did find out going on a month ago that I don't have cancer. Finally, after 9 months.
That's great news, man. I'm so glad to hear that.
That's the best part. But what I learned from this is, it's not really what I learned from it. What I took from it was my motivation to finally do something that I've always wanted to do. So, and I try to look at the positive and everything. That's the only way you can really survive getting through stuff, is to look at the bright side. Yeah, okay, I may have had cancer, I may not have cancer, but the bright side is I finally did something that I've always wanted to do, and it felt good. And it still feels good. And cancer or not, I was going to fight through to the end and, get this project out there, because it was my dream to do it. And, it was my realization to say, I'm not giving up on that dream. I'm still going to make this happen. So,
Yeah, and I think that mental fortitude really says a lot about your character, and I think people see that and people support that. So that's just a blessing all around, brother. So kudos and congrats to you.
Thank you.
So what's the story about?
So what's the story about? Give us a synopsis.
Give the elevator pitch.
Yeah.
Everybody always wants to hear the elevator pitch.
That's okay.
I'm just kidding. I'm giving you a hard time. So the story is about Raziel Stevens. So, there's a little bit of me in the character. It's
Right.
kind of me venting my frustrations into the story.
I got you.
Raziel Stevens is a dad. He is developing a project for the Space Combat Authority, the SCA, and he's home on leave. He gets called into back because something happens, and he is asked to push his project forward on the timeline and get it done. He ends up getting stuff happens. He ends up getting lost in space, and he's trying to fight his way back and figure out what's going on with the Earth. So a lot of this is going to be, eventually it's going to be a comic book series. A lot of Xenonanite Titan, the book series, the trilogy that I'm writing, is going to be the baseline, basically the origin story of Raziel Stevens.
Okay.
And how he obtained the suit. Why did he obtain the suit? Who is Raziel Stevens? What makes him tick? What makes him the way he is? I'm big on character development.
Yeah.
And I get really aggravated when I see like 13 X-Men movies before they finally make the Wolverine origin story. It's like by now people are already invested in the character, and it's like it's too late for an origin story. So this is kind of like, it's just like with the Punisher. If you didn't have the backline story of why the Punisher is who he is, and that his family was killed and he's out for revenge, he just looks like a bad guy. So this is kind of his story. Book 1's going to be the fall before the rise, which basically signifies this is what happens. This is how he obtains the suit. This is why he becomes Xenonanite Titan and what he's fighting for. And it's going to explain a lot of who Raziel Stevens is and what happens to him later on in book 2 of why he acts the way that he does and why he has the suit and what he's basically why he's either the hero or the villain. I won't say which one. That's up for debate. It's a good mystery is always good.
Oh yeah. Okay. I mean, it sounds like a pretty involved, well thought out synopsis. I mean, it's definitely got my interest peaked. So.
Yeah, I don't really have a good elevator pitch for it. I don't know how to explain the story without ruining it. That's been the hard part of what do I put.
Well, we can work with you on the elevator pitch. That's just something you gotta get down. Let's see here real quick. Jamie says, I couldn't agree more, and I'm in a similar situation right now. I was also never supported and only got told to be realistic and that no one wanted to see my work, and I allowed it to break me down. But I'm at a point in my life that I need to believe in me and pull the trigger. Yeah, and Jamie, it's funny that you say that because I remember back in the day when certain people told you, and you know who I'm talking about, told you that you were no good and you couldn't do this and you couldn't do that. So I was in your corner then, and I'm in your corner now. So, you're right. You get to a point in your life where you're tired of being afraid. You're tired of being, beat down, told you can't do this and you can't do that. Screw it, man. Show them that you can.
Well, and here's the thing. There's only one person that you need to make happy, and that's yourself.
Yeah.
If you write, that's what I had to come to realization. And, somebody else kind of said the same thing. They're like, look at M. Night Shyamalama Ding Dong, as I call him. He makes movies for himself, and some people like his movies and some people don't, but he doesn't care because he makes a movie for him because he likes it. And yeah, if somebody brought up the point, yeah, he wastes a lot of other people's money doing so. But, the point is to follow your dream, write your book, write your story, do your comp, do your movie, make music, whatever it is that makes you happy, because if it makes you happy, at the end of the day, that's what matters.
Yeah.
And, you got to be happy with it yourself in order to generate the interest and to sell your book. You got to be excited about it. And
Yeah.
I'm definitely excited about Xenonanite Titan. I mean, the freaking art's phenomenal. The best part about writing the book was working with, the handful of artists that I got on there. I actually have a piece that I'm going to do an unboxing of tomorrow on Russxploe Studios. I was going to do it tonight, but I got home super late, like probably 40 minutes before I was supposed to get on. So we were hurrying up and getting dinner and getting the kids to bed. But, it was great working with these artists because I had my post. I knew what was going to happen throughout the book. And
Right.
we had a symbiotic relationship. I said, hey, I didn't just like tell the artist, this is what I want. I gave them their part of the story and said, I need you to do a piece for this part of the story. Here's the 2 or 3 pages based on what you're doing the picture on. And I gave them my base art that Ed Williams did for me. We sat down. It took us like 6 months of, messaging and sending pictures and me doing stick figure drawings. And, we got it laid out. But, I said, here's the base art. Do what you are inspired by my words.
Right.
Do it in your style. I don't want, 10 pieces to all look the same. I want your interpretation of what you're reading in this piece. I want you to do that. And every artist answered the call. They did it in their own way, the way they seen it. There was, one, Steph Wilson did his with the armor was free floating, which was a really cool idea. And, every piece has Easter eggs in it. There's one piece that has probably 6 or 7 Easter eggs in it. You're going to look at the art. Everybody's going to look at the art at first. She's like, man, this is beautiful. But you're not going to know those Easter eggs until you read the story. And then at the end of that chapter, you turn over to that page of art and you're like, now I see all these Easter eggs. Now this makes sense, which people are going to be searching for it now. But
yeah, and that's cool because they're doubly invested at that point then.
Yeah, and so when the artist did their piece, it inspired me to do more. Eve asked me a question, and it caused me to rewrite 2 chapters of the book because I'm like, you know what, my piece needs something. My book needs something like this, and it caused me to find a huge loophole in the story. And so I literally just deleted 2 chapters of the book and just started over and rewrote the midsection of the book. And Eve thinks I'm joking about it, and I'm not. So, I told everybody, said later on, after everybody's read the book, I will divulge the information of why the book was rewrote and what was taken out and what was put in. But, that's like the Wyvern for the piece that Evanette did. It's amazing. She did a painterly piece, and it was phenomenal. And she did it the way that she imagined it and was inspired by my words, which is a good thing because to me it means I'm portraying what I'm saying in my writing, so the reader can pick it up. That's one of the hard things about writing is making sure that you write your words in a way that it's going to paint a picture for the reader. And
and one thing that you have to realize is that the character so well, and you assume that everybody else does too.
Yep.
And so you're writing for you, and you have to realize that you have to write to explain to them, to set the parameters and educate the readers, and then at that point they're invested, and you got them. They're putty in your hands.
Well, and that's why I sent it to a lot of the artists, like Wendy. I sent you guys a copy of the book. I wanted other people.
Real quick, I do have it, and I have not read it yet, and I apologize for that.
That's fine.
But
you guys are busy.
Yeah, I'm telling you, and in front of everybody, I will read it, and I will get back to you on it, and we will discuss it because I love talking to people about their projects and stuff like that, and so so just so you know, I will read it and I will get back to you on it.
Oh, it's all good, man. I know you guys were busy with the Kickstarter. I just sent it out to people. That way, if you guys had a free time or you were sitting in traffic or whatever it is, you have time to read it. I'm all good with it. I understand. And you guys just got done wrapping up a Kickstarter and shipping, so it's totally understandable. Brian K. Morris. This felt really good. So I sent Brian K. Morris a copy of the book because I really respect Brian. He's a great dude. I respect what he does with Rising Tide because this guy is a mega promoter. I always have been.
He's a super, super great guy.
Super great guy. So I'm like, Brian, I'm not asking you to edit. I'm not asking you, you don't have to read it. I'm like, I sent you a copy of the book. Just, check it out if you have free time. I know you're a busy guy. You're working on books and you're promoting stuff. And he's like, oh, I got 2 other books I got to read right now. When I get done reading those, I'll read yours. And he's like, I'm going to read a little bit because we had a Saturday show lined up. I was going to be on Clever Title Pending with Brian. Right. And he's like, I'm going to read a little bit of it just, so I can get an idea of the book before the show.
Right.
Excuse me. And so, this was like the Saturday before. So the week went by and, this was before I finally figured out that I have now a total of 12 blown discs in my back from my cervical spine down to my lumbar. Not blown, bulging. 2 of them are blown.
Yeah.
Yeah. Ooh, I just got the cervical spine back yesterday, and it's a nightmare.
Well, I've got 1.5, and I know the amount of pain that causes me. So to hear that from you,
yeah. So it's L1 and 2 and L4 and 5, I think, if I'm not mistaken, in my lumbar, and then it's T2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. There's a lot of bulging. There's 1 blown. There's some foraminal, whatever they call that, narrowing. And then in my neck, I don't even remember. There's like, out of the 5, I think 4 of them, all of them but 1. I don't know if there's 5 or 6. I don't remember because like I said, I just got it yesterday. All of them but 1 are bulging, and then 1 of them slipping to the left. And it could be the reason why I have no feeling in this arm. So they're going to try neck injections the 5th of November. So I'm excited. I cannot wait to get some relief. So, the whole time they were invested in it being cancer, and then all this was here and they just missed it. So, I was having a really, 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 really bad week. And I'm at a stop. This is when stuff's memorable for me. I remember the exact moments. I'm really good. I remember things. My wife calls me an elephant because elephants never forget. And neither do I. Trust me. So she can't mess up. I never let her hear the end of it. So
there you go.
I was at a stop in Warrenton. I was at a truck stop delivering oil to the service center. And I'm just standing there, and I'm just like, I'm so done with this week. I don't think I can make it through another day. And Brian messages me, and he's like, Russell, he's like, I read the first couple of chapters of the book, and he's like, I'm finishing this today. He's like, and I'm going to let you know what I think about it. And so, that really made my day. That turned it a total 180. It did a complete opposite because, coming from that kind of a guy that, promotes all this stuff, and he has all these big projects and these 2 other books that he's sitting on, for him to say, I'm finishing your book tonight after he said, I really don't have time. It may not have seemed like anything to him, but it meant a lot to me. It really did.
That's the best medicine in the world right there.
And I told him, backstage when we got on there, I said, Brian, you really made my day the other day. I said, this week has been really rough on me. I was like, and, that really made my day, that you were excited enough about the first 2 chapters that you finished my book. Hi, Wendy. And so, it was really good. So Brian's read it, and he loves it. He said it's like a lot of like the old, the sci-fi pulp fiction books.
Yeah.
I don't remember all the authors that he compared me to, but, and I'm not trying to brag or anything. I'm just saying, it's really good coming from that guy to get that kind of reaction. So it makes me even more excited about the book, and it makes me have more faith in myself and my writing capability. Granted, it needs, it does need a little bit of work, and that's why I chose indie publishing. I didn't want to go with a big time publisher and have them say, this is what you're going to do with your character, and this is what you can and can't do with your book. Like Alton Simpson, he writes vampires in New Jersey, and, he's got Blackjack and the Werewolf series. He goes to the comic book store and they say, hey, our customers want a trade paperback. Okay, I'll make a trade paperback. He goes back, he sets it up, makes it, sends it to the customer, and sells it. That's what I want to be able to do with my book. I want to be able to have creative control and say, this is what's going to happen, and I don't want anybody to tell me, oh, you can't kill this character off, or, oh, this is terrible. That's what part of being indie is all about. And, that's just like Todd McFarlane, not backing down with Spawn. He went off and he did his own thing. I may not be rich and famous like he is, but it's great to know that I can have that creative control. So I'm really excited about this.
Well, right. And one thing to remember about Todd is there was a point in time where he wasn't rich and famous either.
Exactly.
He waited. He went to work and he went to school and he went to baseball practice, but waiting to hear back about his samples and stuff. But he put the work in and did his part, and he waited, and but he was going to do it
down.
So yeah, you gotta take it by the reins and just do you.
Wendy, I'm letting you decide. Who do you want the character to be for Staff Pool? I don't know if anybody else answered. Did I miss any comments?
Nobody has.
All right, who is Steph Pool making fun of tonight?
She says Steph Pool.
Yep. So, hey, look, man, this is what it's all about. I could care less if I make money on this book. And a lot of people are going to go, what? What's wrong with this guy? That's the honest to God truth. I want to make people happy. I want to do something that inspires other people. That's why I created Russxploe Studios. You don't watch a show. I could be having the worst day ever, and I try to stay positive. I try to look in the good of the day, and I try to find the inspiration. Everybody has a story. Alton's story was he was in a band, and they pretty much kicked him out, and he's like, I'm not playing. I'm not ever doing this again. One of his friends walked up and said, you're not the problem. The band's the problem. Don't give up. Come with me. Let's figure this out. And so because of that, all these years later, he got into filmmaking. He got into writing scripts. And then now he's got all these books that he writes. And all of that was possible because one person said, I believe in you. Let's do something about that. So that's what I'm trying to center my shows around. Inspiration. Antonio D. I had him on for... Have you had fun with CB? No, I haven't. I mean, we can do a Might piece. I can try to draw Might. I don't know how well it's going to turn out. So we can have fun with that. Deadpool can be smack talking Might. So, Antonio D. the other day, I had him on, and he was a big inspiration for me. So a few months before I found out that I could possibly have cancer, he ended up finding out he had cancer. And, watching him push on and fight and, do his books and still be printing books for people and working through it all was a big inspiration for me. So it was really awesome to be able to have him on and do the interview because, I told him for the first time, I know you don't really know me. I just found you right around, like probably a month before you got diagnosed with cancer. I became friends with you on Facebook, and I started watching your art. And, you really inspired me. You really inspired me to not give up on my dream and to fight. And, that's what the show is all about. That's why it's Russxploe Studios Books with Heart. It's not just a name. It has meaning to it. Everything I do has meaning to it. Russxploe Studios because I like to blow stuff up. I did blasting for several years. I worked with high explosives for probably 4 years. That's what I went to school for, mining engineering with explosives emphasis. So, I know how to do all kinds of cool stuff. And I've had a pyrotechnics class. So, that if you guys ever see my show at the beginning of the show, there's a huge mushroom cloud explosion. That was me on the 4th of July this year. Just to clear that up, that was me. So, books with heart means everything I do has heart behind it, and this book has heart behind it. It has, the interactions with my kids. It has the emotional bond between the characters, because I use my own interaction with my kids and the things that happen. Not necessarily I put the same exact situations, but I use the emotion that I experience in those situations in my writing.
Oh yeah, you write from experience.
Exactly. And it makes your words have a lot more punch to them when you have that emotion behind it.
Yeah, when you're writing from a place of experience, from a place of knowledge, it hits closer to the mark. It's more genuine. It's genuine, and it comes through. It translates well. So that, I mean, that the old adage, write what you know. That's what you do, because you can't sing the blues if you ain't never lived the blues. And that's just, it's, to be a writer is, you're the narrator of your thoughts, and I love the creative process and pulling from personal experiences and stuff and weaving elements of that into a story. It's, people say, where do you get your inspiration from? And so, I open my eyes in the morning and get up, face the day, and there's
Exactly.
a plethora of things to pull from, a lyric in a song that you hear on the radio, or a conversation that you overhear at a grocery store or something, spark stories, you know. So yeah, I mean, writing is just magical to me. I just love it.
Well, and the thing is, I say, I don't care if I make money on it. People are like, what? It's not about the money. In the last 7 months, in February, since I started Russxploe Studios, I made a lot of bonds with people.
Right.
And, it's not that I want to have 100,000 people buy my book. Granted, I do. If 100,000 people buy my book, the more the merrier. But just to have, 100 or 200 people that are emotionally bonded, that we have a relationship on Facebook, we message on a weekly basis, and we chat, and they come into the shows, and I go into their shows, and we interact. That means more to me than money.
Oh yeah, that's your we call it the Con family.
Exactly.
Yeah, and like Tina and I went up this past weekend and spent the weekend at the Forney's house for the packing party. That it's family, and it's so funny because it truly is. When you're life on the road at cons, you kind of need that connection with people, and you make those connections, and that to me is one of the best things about doing what we do, is the friendships and stuff that we build with people all over the world. And like you said, to be able to hop on and and you come on here, me come on yours. Like I watched some of your you and Brian last week. Unfortunately, your Sunday shows started a little too late for me, because most of the time I got to get in bed for work.
Oh, trust me, the Sunday show started a little late for me too. But you're an hour ahead of me, so it's even later,
Yeah. So yeah, it's just the support that you get from, people can relate. You can email somebody or do a personal chat with them and say, look, man, I'm going through this, and what's your advice? It's great, and you learn so much from people that you interact with, and it's very comforting to you're not just doing books, you're making friends, you're solidifying relationships, and I mean, dude, that's just life, and we get to do it on a with I want to say a global scale because the internet reaches far and wide. But yeah, I mean, my part-time job, um, I'm one of the youngest guys there, so a lot of the guys are retirees, and they don't get me because I'm an artist, I'm a creative, and their whole lives were, they went and they worked a job, and they went home to the family, and they did whatever they did, and to me, in my opinion, they're just mundane lives where when con season's up and going, we're going to a different city on the weekend. We're hanging out with our friends. We're selling our wares. We're interacting with other creatives, and that's just so much more enjoyable than going and working a 9 to 5 and um, hanging out with the fellows and cracking open a beer on the weekends and watching the old game. There's I feel that our lives are so much richer because of the involvement that we have with other creatives. And I'll stop now.
No, you're exactly right. And the best part about that's why I want to be an indie creator. I don't want to be, I had somebody the other day ask me, "Oh, well, I got an agent. Why aren't you getting an agent? Isn't that normally what you do?" And I said, "Well, yeah, that's what normal people do." I said, "But I don't want to go that route. I don't want to go to an agent and say, 'Here, sell my book.' I want to get out there and I want to interact with people. I want to have a con family. I want to show up to cons and have people excited to meet me and want my autograph and, to sit there and tell me how my story inspired them. It's not about making money. It's not about selling 100,000 copies. It's about making that connection, not only with indie creators and how helpful they can be. When I come out and said, hey, I'm making a book and I'm doing a Kickstarter, I have, a handful of people right off the get-go going, hey, if you have any questions, I am more than happy to help you out. The big world isn't like that. The big world, it's neck and neck, cutthroat.
Yeah.
And here in the indie community, we can share ideas. We can bounce stuff off of each other and not have to worry about, that person, gunning for us. And it's a great feeling to have that kind of connection. I mean, as human beings, we're wired to connect to people. I mean, that's why Facebook was kind of born as a way for people to connect over long distances. And, as a creator, I want to connect with, my fans, my readers. And, I'm planning on doing Comic Cons. I was planning on doing C2E2 next year and getting a table there. I know I'm writing a novel and stuff like that, but this is kind of me joining the book community and the comic book community because all of my artists and my cover will be comic book indie artists. And, I don't want to say I use them to sell my work. It's a way for me to get their work out there to other people because I respect them. Wendy Steen Shaner is a phenomenal artist.
Yes.
Ed Williams is a phenomenal artist. Every artist that's in book one is a phenomenal artist. I wanted to get a handful of popular and unknown artists and throw them into a book and put it out there into the world to get their work in other people's hands. And, like I said, we had a symbiotic relationship. We worked well together. They did a piece. I rewrote the chapter to more cater to their pieces. And we inspired each other. And it was a great feeling to have that. So I'm really excited. And, I hope in doing so, it brings more work to the table for these artists. That more, people that write novels will look at it and go, hey, that's a great idea. I spent $1,000 to have a book company, put me together a cover and something, that they gathered up. Why wouldn't I support an indie artist and help get their work out there? And so, I'm not saying I'm the first one to do it. I don't know that anybody else has or hasn't done it. I just really wanted to help out the comic book community. And this is kind of my way of meshing it together. And also, too, at the end of the trilogy, I'm going to do a comic book series. So, this writing the novels is kind of my way of showing off my writing ability. And I hope in doing so that people somewhere out there, somebody will look at it and go, I love the story and I love where the story's going. I heard he wants to make a comic book. I'm an artist. I want to work on this, and that way somebody has the same energy as me. You can have somebody either be a part of your project and be halfway in it, or somebody that is passionate about your project. And I want everybody in my project to be passionate, because I want it to show in the work that these people are dedicated to this project and they love this project and they're putting everything they have into it. Because, I mean, you could have 3 people working their butts off and one person's just like, whatever, this is just a paycheck. And it shows in the final product.
Yeah, the synergy's not there.
Exactly.
Yeah, and I mean, I think that's just awesome that you build those relationships and stuff, and you build the passion behind it, and all of a sudden, you've got this fan base through osmosis, and then you've really got something special, and then all of a sudden, you get to a point where it's like, whoa, this could really grow into something huge. And
and initially, I never had the intention of putting art into the book.
Right.
Over the last 10 years, when I got into the comic book scene, and I started Art Exposure a few years ago, and my goal with that was to get indie artists that don't do live shows to get their show, to show their work online, because a lot of people get recognition and by showing the work off online and doing live drawing. Somebody somewhere will watch them and get inspired by it and say, hey, I want this person to do a piece. And I met several artists, just through browsing online, that, they would post one thing somewhere and then you wouldn't hear from them again for, 3 or 4 months. And I just was like reaching out to those artists and saying, hey, why don't you come on to Art Exposure and do a live show and show off your work? And, I got a lot of pushback of, oh, well, I just don't have the setup. And, they were scared, like I am about putting my project out in the world. They were scared to put their art out in the world.
Right.
And so it was a great feeling. Finney the Great was the first artist that got on my platform. And now they have 35,000 followers on their live draw sequences. And it's not a bragging point to say, oh, look, I made this person famous. It's a bragging point because it feels good. I take great pride in knowing that I helped inspire somebody.
Yeah, and that, I mean, and I can hear it in your voice, and I know that your motivations and stuff are pure, and all that. So that just makes everything else sweeter. So I'm pulling for you, brother. I love you to death. So you just keep doing what you're doing, and being able to hop on each other's shows and pimping out each other's stuff, man. That's just, you can't beat that, man.
Well, and it's so great too, because I don't want to say COVID in a way did a good thing. I mean, in a way it did, but it's not a good thing, COVID. It's just good things have come out of it.
Right.
And,
you like you said, you're a positive person, and
you got to look at the bright side.
You got to look at the bright side. I know it's a cliche, and people are like, oh yeah, whatever, but you really do. I deal with varying levels of pain all day long, every day. And I have my days where I can just kind of break down, and I don't get a lot done. But then, are you going to let it, you can't, I refuse to give in. I refuse to be conquered by it. You got to, my sense of humor, I think really helps a lot. And just the positivity, my glass is definitely half full. And you have to. That's important. You have to have that. If you don't have that, you have to develop it, because that in itself will get you through the week. Um, you do. You have to look at the bright side of things. You have to find the silver linings. Like you said, COVID. Good things came out of COVID. COVID put us online. COVID forced us to do a website. COVID, was the reason we started doing the live streams and stuff. Now we've got a weekly show where we do 2 nights a week, and Sean and I, and
And
it's
now you've reached a whole new fan base that you
absolutely,
never knew was out there. And
absolutely
that's what I was trying to get at, with saying, some good has come out of COVID. Looking at the bright side of it, people have put their work online. People are doing what I've been trying to do for 2 years. And now, I have people asking me, hey, can I be on your show? Whenever I started doing shows on Russxploe Studios, honest to God, I had no intentions of it being a recurring show. I basically reached out to all the artists that did a piece for my book and said, hey, I really want to spotlight you and help my friends see you and the work that you do. Would you mind doing a live show so where we can talk about your piece and talk about the book? And, it wasn't just a sharing point for them. It was a sharing point for me too, because their fans are going to come watch them, and my fans are going to get on and watch me. And through that, we're sharing friends. And we may gain one or two people that are passionate about what we do, but it's great to make those connections. And so that was my original, intention. I was just going to do 10 shows and I was going to be done. Well, I
right.
did 2 shows and I started getting messages. They're like, hey, I seen you had so and so on your show the other day. Is there any way I can go on your show? And I was like, yeah, sure, why not? I have no problem with that. And
Absolutely.
it turned into like I was booking a month out because I had so many people wanting to be on, and I was like, okay, and it's fine. I'm not complaining one bit. I'm totally cool with it because truly enjoy sharing other people's work. I love artwork. I love art. I always have since I was a kid, and to be able to work with people and help share their art and see it inspire other people makes me happy. And so as long as people are going to want to come on my show and pimp their stuff, I'm more than happy to take them. And anybody in the audience, if you have a project that's coming up, a project that will be releasing soon, a project that is already on Kickstarter, send me a message. Send me a friend request. Say, hey, I got this project going on. I will be more than happy to have you on my show, get to know you as a person. One of the big things that is funny is people, like when I had Antonio on, I was asking him questions that, most people probably knew the answer to. I don't research my guests.
Right.
I want to have a genuine conversation of I'm getting to know you online because it allows the audience to do the same thing.
Right. You want to get to know them organically.
Exactly. I don't want to just read about you and I did this. I want to hear you inspire me, tell me about it. And so I don't ever get on there and I have questions lined out like this is what I'm going to ask you. I kind of just chat and then the audience comes in and it totally derails to wherever the audience takes it.
It's totally off the rails to no shirts and
Yeah. Oh, I can only imagine what's going to happen this Sunday. This Sunday, I've got Belial 2 on again with Chuck Pinnow and Steph Wilson. It's going to be off the chain because it was, and then now we're adding Steph Wilson into it. So it's going to be
absolute carnage.
yes, absolutely.
That's amazing. He's a hoot.
He is. He's a great guy. And, that's another thing I want to touch on too is, Steph's a great guy. I talked to him about doing a piece for Xenonanite Titan. I wanted to do special. So, touch on it a little bit. I'm sorry. I know I keep going off on tangents, but, my son having open heart surgeries is something that really inspired me to want to do this charity. There's a charity out there, cb4k.org. That's C as in cat, B as in boy, the number 4, and then K as in kids.org. Mark's a great guy. I met him at C2E2 after I'd already been donating for a few years. When my son goes in the hospital and he has open heart surgeries, I don't know how to comfort him. When he comes out of surgery, when he had his at 2.5 years old, he laid there and he cried. And we tried holding him, we tried hugging him, we tried everything we could to pacify him and make him feel better. And here comes the nurses in there with, a pack of dump trucks from Dollar General that somebody donated to the hospital. And suddenly he forgets about his pain and he's 100% focused on these trucks and he's playing in the bed and he forgets about it.
Yeah.
And that doesn't just help the kids out. That helps the parents out too.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, we get 5, 10, 20, 30 minutes of time that, when he has open heart surgery, sometimes it's 12 to 15 hours long. It starts at 5 o'clock in the morning and it ends whenever they get it fixed. The first one he had, they ended at 3 o'clock in the afternoon, and then they called us and said, no, we have to shut his heart off and put him on the heart-lung bypass again. There's a leak. And, then he didn't get done until 5:30, 6 o'clock that night. So at the end of the day, when he's awake and we've had this 13, 14-hour day because we live an hour from the hospital and we're just wore out and we just need some time away, it really helps us because it gives us time to decompress and be there for each other while he's focused on something else.
Right.
And so, comic books for kids is something that I'm really passionate about. Mark takes comic books and sends them to cancer centers and places that, kids' hospitals, and gives kids a chance to have some release, some time away from the bad that's happening in their life. And I asked Steph Wilson to do a piece for me because once the book is funded, unofficially, but unofficially per Kickstarter, I have a t-shirt that will be added on once the book funds, so it doesn't affect me doing the initial print run of the book. Once the shirt funds, I will be adding this t-shirt to the Kickstarter. All funds from that t-shirt will go to cb4k.org. Not part of it, not some of it, 100% of it. Every t-shirt sold, I want Mark to pass out when I send him, $1,000 to help out the kids.
Right.
He is the most humble person that I know. You could send him money in PayPal and he'd be like, oh, that's too much. You really shouldn't send that much, And the way I met him was through my local comic shop that I buy from. They're not local to me. They're in Pennsylvania, but they're the ones that I buy from because, I found them online and we connected. And, we connected enough to the point they came down for Roderick and Adriana's birthday a couple months ago when we had their birthday party.
Very nice.
That's how I ended up meeting Mark, was through them, because every Saturday on their live sale, they have slabs or, pieces of art that an artist has done for them, or a book that somebody donated. They put it up. Everyone buys a spot. $10 gets you a spot on the wheel, and they spin the wheel, and whoever name it lands on wins. And all the money goes to the kids. They send it over to Mark, and each week it just it's nice. You see the emails and you see the posts that he posts on the website at cb4k.org of his thanks to these comic shops that help out, or his thanks to the people that give to him, or even when the hospital send thank you letters to him, he posts them for everybody to see and says, here, you guys helped this to happen. And he's not just like small fry or how do we know this guy puts 100% into it. He really does. We all know how expensive it is to ship comic books. Just to send one book, it's like $15. So this guy sends hundreds of books to hospitals.
Yeah.
And you know, Image, Boom's I think Boom is too. Dark Horse. There's a lot of publishers that donate books to Mark. I mean, granted, he doesn't pay for some of the books, but you know, he still has to pay for shipping, and so that's where a lot of the funds that are donated to him go to, is shipping. And you know, one of the reasons why I wanted to give back to this is not only because, you know, with my son, we've had people give to the hospital and stuff that, you know, they've given to him, but you know, this year's been especially hard on everyone. And kids are no, what's the word I'm looking for? Kids have taken a hard hit too. Imagine you get coronavirus, you're 5 or 6 years old and you're in the hospital and your parents can't visit you because, you know, that's the truth of it. You know, if Roderick would get the coronavirus, we wouldn't be able to be at the hospital with him because they wouldn't allow it. And imagine, I can just imagine my 5-year-old kid scared to death in the hospital. And, you know, that's happening all over the nation.
Oh, yeah, it's horrifying.
And so if I can send $1,000 to Mark and blow him away and him get comic books to these kids that are suffering and give them that 5, 10, 20, 30 minutes of relief, that means more to me than anything.
Absolutely.
So I'll be quiet about it now, but definitely, you guys, you know, if you see the t-shirt on there, Steph Wilson did a wonderful piece for me. It's Xenonanite Titan, read a comic book to Roderick in bed after open heart surgery with my daughter at the foot of the bed with a get well balloon. Thanks to Wendy Steenshaner for that. That was her idea, to add Sissy in there. Because she said, you can't do a piece with Roderick and not include Adriana. And I said, yeah, you're right. I didn't think about that. So, you know, that's how that came to be.
That's great. That's really great. Okay. It is 10:15, so I think we're going to call it. Is that cool with you?
Oh, that's cool with me. Sorry, man. I don't mean to
Oh,
ramble on.
no. It's a great show, man. It's a great conversation, and you know, it's good for people to hear, and definitely
There we go.
you know, I chewing on the thought of maybe you know, throwing in some PP&J for your son or something like that. You know, our all ages book, Peanut Pudding and Jelly. Maybe sending a copy of that over his way so he can have that to peruse through.
There you go, Wendy. I drew the Mighty Mite for you. It's absolutely horrifying, but I tried. What can I say?
That's awesome, man. That is awesome.
Hey, I like have no reference. I'm like, oh, I'm gonna look on my phone. I'm like, I can't look on my phone because I'm on my phone right now. So I'm just like drawing from memory. I was like, I know there's an M and an M, so that's all. But you know, if I can, I'll give one last pitch, guys. Xenonanite Titan, 200-page novel. It's the origin story of Russxploe Stevens. It's a great story. It's got a lot of heart. It's got a lot of time. 10 years of a labor of love that I put into it. A phenomenal set of artists behind me. I'm so excited to be able to help share the work out there. It's going live November 17th. Please back it. Please check it out. If you're not into books, or if you know you're more into comic books, this will be a comic book later on. So will be a great way to figure out the origin story of Russxploe Stevens. I will be taking part of the story, probably like the first chapter, maybe the second chapter, making it available for people to read so they can get an idea of the book, give you a little teaser. It'll end off on a cliffhanger, so it'll suck you in. No, I'm just kidding. No, I'm probably not kidding. Ask Wendy. Wendy will tell you.
That's the idea. Yeah, you gotta get them hooked.
Well, see, I sent Wendy an excerpt from the book, and it ended, and then it had the next chapter underneath of it. It said chapter 3, and it ended like chapter 2 with a huge cliffhanger. And she scrolled down, and there was nothing written under chapter 3. It was just blank. And she was like, "Are you kidding me right now? You stopped right there." I was like, hey, at least that's what I was looking for. I was looking for, hey, I'm really upset because I want to know what happens. You know, it could have been, oh, that was pretty good, but it wasn't like that. It was, why did you stop there? So, you know, and that's what I did. I sent it to a couple people, and they're like, oh, yeah, I'll check it out. And then they're like, but guys, definitely check it out. Check out Russxploe Studios, please. Every Sunday and Tuesday, I do creator Kickstarter interviews. It's nothing. There's no format to it. It's us chatting, having fun, talking about your project, talking about you, because it's all about getting to know who you are and you as a person and what inspired you to make your project, because that's what I'm all about, inspiration. So definitely check out Russxploe Studios. Look for Xenonanite Titan kickstarting on November 17th, and get ready to have more twists and turns than 2020. That I can guarantee you.
I like that. Awesome. Well, Russell, my friend, thank you so much for joining us. We really appreciate it.
Thank you so much for having me on. I know I'm long-winded.
You're fine, brother. You're fine. You're absolutely welcome. And we will talk to you soon. And just give your kids a hug for us. And just have a great weekend, brother. All right?
You too, bud.
All right, man. You guys take care, and we will see everybody soon. Thanks for tuning in tonight. And for Sean Forney, this is Rodney Fike saying so long, everybody.